calls that haven't got on air because we've been trying to sort them out, and they're about this seminar which begins next Tuesday in the Bahamas. And Mike Gard is on the line, and a number of other people. Mike Gard, good afternoon to you.
How are you, Joe?
This is Mike from Dialogue Ireland, who would be, how would you describe yourself, a cult buster or whatever? Is that
I suppose,
a phrase? Okay.
Cult,
I've just worked out here, Mike, that people who are going on this, you say we've figures from various sources that 60 people are going in this seminar to the Bahamas next Tuesday.
This is what I've been informed by family members of people who are concerned, you know.
And how much? €20,000 a pop.
Well, it's about it's 18,500 now, of which 5,000 goes to the person who sells the course. So a lot of people who've done the course before are trying to catch up with to pay for their own bills, and they often have to kind of hit their own family members or friends.
Okay, so that's the point I'm making is over €1 million is being spent on these courses next Tuesday.
Oh yeah, and by the time, you know, Tony Quinn is a tax exile, so I think the people who sell these courses obviously are liable for benefit in kind, paying those off in Ireland, but I'm not sure what end of the end he pays.
So what are people spending $1 million on? What are they giving Tony Quinn $1 million for? I know it's through various.
Well, it really depends on the kind of person. Some people, they would see themselves as becoming millionaires. Others are looking for a spiritual change in life. Mm-hmm. I suppose it comes out of the riches that we have in our society that people can even consider taking these trips. Whereas, 10, 15 years ago, the idea would have been a laugh.
So they're self-help seminars.
Self-help, mental improvement, the EDUCO is the name of it, which is how to focus, how to become successful in life. And mm-hmm. a number of business people, for instance, Boyle Sports have made no secret of the fact that your man suggests that his success arises from Tony Quinn, though after an article 2 years ago in the Sunday Independent, I received a call from one of his former employees who said that he kind of was encouraged, like as if he wanted to go up the management ladder, to go on a trip, and he had gone to Southern California. When he got there, he decided to go to Disneyland because he thought that it would be less threatening than being in the seminar.
And what happens on these seminars in the Bahamas?
Well, what happens, and by the way, we understand that this is going to be the last one for some time, because a person that I was talking to phoned up yesterday looking for a course, and he was given information that suggested that he was, that he really had to make a decision quick because the places were up. And he also got a friend, the friend of this person, or I think a wife who's from the Philippines, phoned him all the way from the Philippines to say, whatever you do, get onto this trip. It's life-changing. And also it's very much a question of you have to get the money together. So they suggest things like mm-hmm. going to various, let's say, banks on the same hour. Let's say you go for or use 5 different credit cards, and you're playing kind of money roulette on it, and so that you can cover your tracks. And they're moving, we understand, to Sardinia, because this person said, made it look like he was having problems with his wife about going, and they told him, by the way, we're going to move it to Sardinia so it's not so far away, and it can kind of be disguised more easily as a European trip than the one to the Bahamas, and it's too hot there in the summer, and of course all the hurricanes in the last few years. I'd say
and where does Tony Quinn live? I know he's from Dublin. Where does he live at the minute?
Well, he actually has he owns a tower, one of the old Martello towers up in Malahide. Just as you approach the hotel there, the Grand Hotel on the left, you'll see kind of a corner. I think it's called Hook's Tower, and it's a beautiful old house, but it's never hardly anybody in it. He tends to have a lot of vintage cars around there. They all seem to go for this kind of high lifestyle, because if you're in, you're going to win.
But where does he live, Mike? If he's a tax exile,
he lives in Bahamas, and at one stage, Greg Dyke, from the former BBC director, he interviewed him about his boxing thing, and he had a house down in South California. There's some story that he has another house in England from an earlier phase.
Okay, well let's hear from people whose relations might have gone there. James, good afternoon to you.
Hi, Joe. How are you doing?
You managed to stop your brother going on one of these. How did you find out your brother wanted to go on it?
Oh, I I got a call from my sister-in-law late one night to say that she was very concerned about her husband, my brother, and that he was stuck in Tony Quinn, and that was my first encounter. So I, of course, didn't know what the hell was going on, rang my brother. She was pregnant, 8 months pregnant. I rang my brother to see what was going on. I said, like, geez, are you loony? What's going on? And he was like someone else. It wasn't my brother. It was. He rejected the idea that he was upsetting his wife. He rejected the idea he was acting in a strange fashion. He rejected everything. And he was going to go on this course. What happened then is that I did a little bit of internet searching, a little bit of shouting around, and I actually came in touch with Mike Guard. And Mike gave me the guidance to, if you like, some of the best advice he gave me was, number one, do not be negative. If you're negative with the individual, they will move away from you. They'll reject what you're saying. And he said, in addition, if Michael gets on the plane and you fail to actually stop him, reject him with love, because when he comes back, he will not be Michael.
And how much was your brother prepared to shell out?
18 grand. And this is at a time when he was literally barely working for himself, very low wages.
And 18 grand for what? What was being offered?
Oh, it was a life-changing event. As they say, how can you put the price of a car on a quality of life?
And how did he come across? Everyone, we all know the Tony Quinn shops. They sell the.
Oh yeah, and they're
shorns of tablets.
Exactly. God knows what you're eating, but
well, people can make their own judgments. Yeah.
But effectively, what Michael did is he went to two separate banks and basically got them to give him the money in 10,000 chunks. So he actually arranged for 20,000 euros.
And how did he initially come across this idea?
All he was doing at the time was looking for a bit of peace and quiet, the stress of everyday life, the noise, the racket, the stress, and all the rest of it. He had heard about meditation, yoga, chill out, relaxation. And as he was at one of these kind of, if you like, educational shows, there was a Tony Quinn stand on it, and he got talking to the people, and they said, oh yeah, drop down, we run these yoga classes, all the rest of it. Within 3 weeks of attending these courses, he was going on the seminar. So within 3 weeks, he had made the decision to particularly drop everything and leg it to America, Bahamas.
Leave his wife.
Leave his pregnant wife, 8 months pregnant.
Okay, you tried to get to meet him, and what happened?
We did indeed. What it was is on the Friday after I'd been talking to Mike, I went back down to the home place and arranged with Michael. I said, listen, we'd be very interested in having a chat with you. How about we meet up Friday night? And he said, great. And then I got a call to say, do you mind if I bring a couple of people with me? And we're kind of cheaper. So I said, okay, fine. Now, at this stage, my sister-in-law had moved back to her mother's. My brother was staying down in her home place. She was very distressed over the whole lot, obviously. He didn't appear to be listening to her. He wasn't doing anything. So he eventually arrived on the Friday night for a chat with these two other blokes from the Tony Quinn, sorry, I won't say from the Tony Quinn organization, who had gone through the seminars. And they were coming to reassure us that what Michael was doing was the best thing in the world.
And what did they say?
This went on from, I think we met them at around 9:30, and I think they left the house at 2:30. The general gist of what they're saying is that what Michael is getting into is wonderful. This will help him positive outlook in life. He'll be brilliant.
And okay, you were trying to deal with this. You're trying to have a conversation. What's it like trying to have a conversation with these people? They were there for 5 hours. You have great patience.
You need to be very, 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 very careful. One of the startling things that came out of all of this, because eventually after they fell over with exhaustion and left, I continued talking with my brother, and during the course of it, I noticed that he was doing this slow blink. And I eventually kind of said, Michael, what are you doing? He said, oh, nothing, I'm tired. And then he did it again while we were talking. I said, Michael, sorry, what are you doing? And he said, nothing, I'm just tired. And I chased him on it. I said, no, you're doing something. And he said, well, what I'm doing is I'm rejecting your negative comments. So this is a wonderful thing. This is what they teach you, that if you
by blinking,
well,
the slow blink. It's a mental thing, yes.
All Michael was doing was closing his eyes and effectively saying to him,
Okay,
I get that.
James, you stay there for a second. Let me bring Mary in on 1857-15815. Mary, good afternoon to you. Are you there, Mary?
Good afternoon, Joe.
Okay, you went to one of these seminars, but you went to Dublin rather than the Bahamas.
Yeah, it was about 12 years ago. I became involved with the Tony Quinn organisation by just going to relaxation classes.
Mm-hmm.
They went on for about an hour, and it was really nice. You know, you do relaxation,
yeah, that's
yoga.
Fine. Yeah, badly needed, even more so today. But anyway, for so many people. So what happened?
Yeah, no, I'd really believe in that. You know, it's like prayer. You know, you do. You can either do the yoga exercise and then meditate afterwards, or just the meditation in a room, listening to music or being spoken to. And you know, you get a lovely, nice energy and. You know, it's like going into a church to say a prayer, you know.
Which is free. How much you pay for the seminar?
No, it's 12 years ago, so it wasn't anywhere foreign. It was in Tony Quinn's place where he held it in, it's kind of Malahide, Portmarnock, you know.
Okay, yeah.
And on the weekly classes, they would really push the seminar. You know, you must do a seminar, you must get the money together. At the time, it was £350, which to me that was a lot of money. You know, I was
12 years
young,
ago,
you know.
Yeah.
And put my wedding dress up for sale, and you know, it wasn't. Thank God, it wasn't my remortgaging my house at the time or anything. But it was really, I really felt under pressure. It was such a life-altering experience to go on this seminar. So I went to, they put you up in, Tony Quinn had a few houses around the area, you know, they were just ordinary semi-detached houses, and I was put into a living room with makeshift beds, 4 people in a little small living room, and there was about 10 people in the house using one bathroom. We used to have to queue up in the morning. But these seminars went on till all hours in the morning, like right through the day up until the morning, and it was like sleep deprivation. And when you arrived there, you were given literature that you read and were not allowed to hold on to, and it was like mind games or psychology being worked on you, that there'd be letters missing, and you know, it was just a way of getting.
And how did you feel afterwards, after the weekend was over and you paid your...
I didn't stay the whole week.
Did you not know?
No, I didn't. When you're in the seminar, like you do the first 2 days, and then or I think it was 3 days. It was the first day, then the end of the second day, you meet Tony Quinn, and the big build-up to meeting this Tony Quinn God was unbelievable.
Well, tell us about the build-up, because I've never met the chap. Tell us about the build-up. We all know the photograph, the tin with a beard,
the halo, and everything, kind of thing. Yeah.
He hasn't got a halo, has he?
No, on the photograph they kind of make it look like he has. And the way they speak about Tony would be...
Tell us how they speak. Tell us how.
Well, the thing about yoga is when you relax, you feel this lovely connectedness to the earth. You feel, you see things clearly. It's lovely, and it's nothing to do with Tony Quinn. This is an age-old philosophy.
Yeah, okay. A lot of people do yoga, and they enjoy it. A lot of people meditate, and there's no issue.
Yeah,
but it's paying out enormous sums of money. You say Tony Quinn was introduced as if he's a god.
Well, it's a big build-up to we're going to meet Tony kind of thing. But during when we met Tony, it was like a big walk. We walked from these houses right up his avenue. It's like a castle, you could say, you know. And they played this big this music. It's like, you know, dun 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 dun, 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 you know, like Here Comes the King, you know. And this chair is pulled out by women. Yeah, right into the middle of the floor, like his throne, and he sits up here, you know, and.
What was he wearing?
I can't remember what he was wearing now.
He normally dresses in white, apparently, totally in white.
Yeah, most probably was. And the room was done up kind of Gothic, you know, as well. And the thing about when you do the meditation, the relaxation, that they do all sorts of, you know, look into somebody's eyes, and you could actually put somebody into a kind of a trance by doing this. And when you do the relaxation, people would go shaking on the floor, rolling their eyes up to heaven, and it would be like an orgasmic sound getting higher and higher, and people would literally shake on the ground doing this. And
but you disentangled, but who stayed involved? Your sister, was it?
Oh no, I was there. I was involved.
No, but who stayed involved? Who's involved with them now? Do you know anyone that's involved with them now?
Yeah. I have a sister that's still involved.
Does she go on these foreign trips to the Bahamas?
Yeah.
And how much are they costing her?
Well, she's very secretive. She knows I really don't like Tony Quinn. I've spoken to her every time when I knew she was going, when I try and talk her out of it, but you never ever can. The thing about
the Bahamas, there's 60 people going next Tuesday.
That was when I was there. That you get this at the seminar, you get this really clearness. But other people that were on the seminar, they'd have hypnotic techniques that they would not hear parts of sentences that were said, and that would be going into their subconscious.
Okay, just to come back to your sister, because she's the one, she's still involved. She's going in these. Where's she getting the money to go on these €20 a pop trips?
Well, I don't really want to talk about my sister on air. You know,
So
she has her ways and means of getting her money to pay for these. She's been, I'd say, on 3 or 4. She met a new boyfriend, and he goes on them now as well.
Okay. You wouldn't go, obviously. I just want to ask. Stay there for a second, Mary. Mike, good afternoon to you again, Mike Gard.
Sure.
Mike, have you met Tony Quinn?
I have never met him. We tried to invite him to a conference we held in 2001, but I got a letter threatening me with legal kind of activity.
Because the last time people here would have seen him was when he did that stuff with Stephen Collins, the boxer.
That's right, but
that was only PR guff, wasn't it?
Yeah, and funny enough, I met Stephen Collins. It'd actually be good to see at this stage he might be willing to talk about his experiences, but he paid something like £375,000 at the time, and at that time, if you remember, when he boxed down in Cork, he was he had no money at all. If he had lost that, he would have been penniless. But Tony basically told him to have a go at him because he had nearly killed somebody. That, if you remember the fight with Chris Eubank, Chris had nearly killed somebody a few months earlier, and so when he pretended that he was actually under hypnosis, which is of course totally unethical for someone who's going into a boxing ring to tell his opponent that he's going to be using hypnosis, you can imagine what was going through Chris Eubank's mind. And in fact, he had him on the canvas in the first round, and as a result of his kind of experience, I think he actually laid off, and he could have actually beaten your man in that fight. And so that's one of the books that they give out. The other thing that they do is you may remember on the Late Late Show with Gay Byrne, he did this famous operation without anesthetic, and that was completely borrowed from a Dr. Gibson who died there about a year ago. Now they're kind of giving him recognition, but basically that stuff. And also Tony Quinn is, as you know, he's got a doctorate, and one of the people who came to our conference was Dr. Sean Collins, who's an expert in hypnotherapy. He's done somewhat similar training to Tony, and he gave some very insights into how to understand Tony Quinn. And one of the things is that there can be no failure. And one of the things I noticed with the people I deal with, especially the entrepreneurs, is that they were actually doing very well until they met Tony. They're going in to get even further money, but actually it stifles them because the concept of failure goes out the window. So if you fail, it's your fault, not Tony Quinn. Okay,
James, did your brother stop going, or did you persuade him not to go on the seminar?
We did, because on the Friday that I was talking about that I met him, he was actually meant to go on the flight on the Monday. So he was actually geared up, his check paid, he was ready to go. And it wasn't until Saturday night, early Sunday morning, that he finally turned around. 2 key things happened. One is that I'd said to him, we had spent, I suppose, over the course of 2 days, about 24 hours talking about spiritual matters, visualization, meditation, blah, 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 blah. And I said to him, do you realize that if you go on this course, I can never again talk to you, because all you will do is try and sell me a course when you come back. And that shocked him. And he was going, but no, it won't be like that, it won't be like that. And then I said, do you realize also that if you go, your wife will leave you? And he was absolutely disbelieving. Don't forget this, Joe. Your typical Irish reaction to hearing someone doing something like that would be, for God's sake, look, you're being stupid, you dumb, ignorant individual, etc., etc. Once you talk like that, they're going to push away from you. So with Michael, all I had to do was keep on saying, this might happen, you have to take it gently, gently. I said, your wife will most likely leave you. And he wouldn't believe it. It was absolute, total denial.
So isn't he lucky? I'm just thinking he's lucky he had you and you were so persistent. Other people would have given up earlier, I think.
Without it, I mean, this is what's, it's not so much give up. Like one of my other brothers was absolutely, will I go in and give him a hammering? This is the reaction, your typical Irish, don't forget, this is a rural environment. This is happening up and down the country. This is where families are being split apart. They cannot understand why their sister, brother, whatever, is acting in such a stupid fashion. To them, a stupid fashion.
Okay, I'm just thinking that people are going, if people are trying to dissuade people from spending the €20,000 next Tuesday, I presume people are going through today and tomorrow what you went through with your brother.
Absolutely.
But you need, from what you're saying, you need incredible powers of patience and persuasion. Let me bring John in. John, good afternoon to you.
Hello, how's it going?
You were attached to the Tony Gwynn group, you said.
I was indeed, yeah. And a good few years ago, it's probably 10, 12 years ago.
And you're no longer?
No.
Why? Why did you pull away?
Well, at the time that I was with them, I was getting pretty good benefit out of it, I felt. And between the yoga, the meditation, and all the rest, and it was good crack with the group that was there. And it was, the whole thing was, everything was going to be great in your life, your relationship was going to be great, etc., etc. You were going to get on much better, your mind would be clearer, and that goes without saying that if you done meditation, that would happen. But with that particular, with the Tony Quinn group, you had problems that if you disagreed with certain aspects of it, or you didn't toe the line, then you were kind of shunned. So, like, things weren't happening in my life at the time.
And your wife managed to get you out of it, or to pull you out of it?
Yeah, she did.
And what were her worries?
Well, I was spending too much time there. I was ignoring the family, even though I was trying to rope the family into it.
Right, yeah.
But it just wasn't working. So they just didn't want to go, and I was getting despondent about the whole thing. But for me, I felt it was like it's a crutch. And the longer you're in it, the longer you want to hold on to that crutch.
Are you glad you're out of it?
Well, I am indeed, yeah.
Okay, what about these holiday deals to the Bahamas at €20,000 for, what's a fortnight, is it?
It's crazy.
What is all that about?
Well, I can't say what it's all about, but I did attend some of the seminars in Dublin, and at that time they were quite reasonable. Well, reasonable in a sense that they were £200 odd for a week. And I got great benefit out of that, I must admit. And a lot of other people that attended it.
But you get a holiday in the Bahamas for less than $2,000. Where's the 20 grand going?
20 grand, I haven't a clue. There's the fellas in the black suits that are coming from different planets. I think they're called accountants. They tend to run the whole show. I can't see any other reason why the figures should be so high.
And then now they're moving to Sardinia, John. We're told.
Oh.
And
it must be cheaper to live there.
Tony comes in off his yacht or whatever to visit the seminar once over the 2 weeks.
Well, it's like every other people that were in business here in Ireland that took the option of taking the tax allowance to get out of the country for so many years.
But what did Tony Quinn make his money out of?
Well, I haven't a clue. I honestly haven't a clue. He started off doing the teaching yoga and teaching this, that, and the other, and the yoga end was good. But what it's got to now, I don't know. It's a manipulation of the mind.
We can't find out. We're trying to find out. And there's lots of people still very worried. And I say this trip is leaving on Tuesday, and people.
Well, I do know that there are many groups throughout the world that are mind manipulative. You know the word.
Yeah. Did you think you're?
Sorry.
You're ambivalent about. Did your wife think you were being manipulated in it?
Yes, and a lot of my friends would have done the same.
Okay.
But as I was saying, I didn't know at the time, so I was on cloud nine.
And James's point, which I thought was a pivotal point to his brother to try and stop him going, was that the minute he came back from the Bahamas, part of his gig would be to get other people to go, to get other people roped into it.
Well, that's the old pyramid situation, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. Okay, more on this. Thanks indeed, John. More on this after the break.
No problem.
Thanks.
Talk to Joe on 1850-715-815.
Joe at RT.ie. Derek, you think it's all about money in Tony Quinn now?
Hello, Joe.
Yes.
Yes, I do actually. I found I have been involved with this with these people,
Okay.
and at the time it was a great situation because
15, 20 years ago, and they were
yeah,
doing
it
the
gave me
yoga
great
and all that
benefit.
carry on. And
Gave
now,
me great benefit.
now you think they're looking for money?
I think it's turned into a money racket. Yeah,
Yeah. Do you know anyone involved?
I do. Yes,
And is there money involved?
there is money involved.
Is there big money involved?
There is, and there could be a lot more involved.
Okay. Can you stop it?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it gets to a stage where people they just get blind, you know.
God. And you don't think you can stop it?
I don't think so.
Yeah, and I see Mary, another Mary on the line there. If Mary has 10 seconds to tell me, she can tell me. Mary,
Hello?
you went in the 70s for yoga, which a lot of people find yoga fine. But now you think it's changed. You went back in subsequently.
I did, yes. At first it was just plain yoga.
Yeah.
Hatha yoga.
And what's it now?
I think it's a cult. I really do. And I think it was starting to be a cult in the 80s because it was all into lifestyle and diet and sort of mental stuff. And if he had a particular slant on everything. On even physical and anatomical details.
Yeah.
He had his own little slant on it.
Okay, Derek, is someone going out on Tuesday in your family? No.
No, but it would have. It could have been.
Okay. Well,
Up to about a week or two ago.
Okay, well done. Anyway, thanks indeed to all our callers and more to come. Andrew Kane was on sound, Jane Murphy was the producer, and Jane Report is the BA. And tomorrow we hope to have a funny Friday with Mozart or Mossy or whatever you want yourself. Just a bit of laugh. Give us all a lift. Badly needed. Good afternoon.